My 19-year-old sister is getting married to her 36-year-old high school teacher. So my younger sister is getting married to her 36-year-old high school teacher in a few days, and everyone seems okay with it. She graduated a year ago, and they told us they were dating almost immediately after the graduation. I was shocked and angry, but everyone around me was happy and supportive of them. The teacher divorced his wife 2 years ago and started paying attention to my sister. He spoke to her after class regularly and paid special attention to her studies. I thought this was weird and talked to my sister about this, but she told me that he was helping her because she was the best student of her class, which she was. A few months ago, only a few months into dating, they announced that they were engaged. I tried talking to my parents about their age difference and stuff, but they didn't want to hear it. I talked to my sister, and she told me she's happy and that she loves him. We live in a small town with a tight-knit community, and everyone else is supporting their marriage. I'm feeling useless right now, and I'm angry at myself. I was unable to protect my sister. I feel like I failed my duties as an older sibling. I hate everyone around me. How do they not see what's going on here? And now in the comments, my cousin did this. She was a sophomore in college, and her professor divorced his wife and married her, and of course, immediately impregnated her. 10 years or so later, he left her and married another student of about 20. As a side note, the guy looked just like Meatloaf. He's helping her because she's the best student in the class? What? Shouldn't he be helping the students who were doing the worst in his class? Well, they weren't child bride material. You can't forbid it, but you can voice your concern, which you have done. You haven't failed. You can't control people. You have to decide if you can support your sister's choices. Whether the relationship succeeds or fails, you can support her. The guy should be called out for grooming though, no? Exactly. I came here to say this as well. Sounds like he groomed her for a while. Absolutely disgusting. In the UK, it is still an offense to do this. It's still grooming a child even if they hide it until they're of age when it comes out. It's a massive breach of trust. Same with Canada. He would be charged with sexual exploitation because they have never lost contact and he's always held a power control over her. He groomed her. Also, from the timeline, it definitely seems like stuff happened while she was in school. OP, your feelings are very valid. I am very sorry that you have to go through this. I am flabbergasted and disgusted that others don't feel the same. Sounds like Buddy was grooming her so he could lock her down before she can go out in the world and learn who she wants to be and know what she wants from life. Now he gets to use his authoritarian position to make those choices for her. That's not cool. She'll never get to experience dating boys, making her own decisions, renting her own first apartment. That's all gone now. Self-discovery is a huge part of our lives, and he's taking that all away from her so she can be taught like a dog on how to be his pet. I mean, wife. And now on to the update. So the marriage happened. I contemplated not going to the ceremony, but I didn't want to hurt my little sister, so I went reluctantly. My blood was boiling throughout the whole thing. Everyone who came to the ceremony congratulated them. I couldn't even look the teacher in the face because I was so angry at him. I hated the whole thing. I'm leaving this town tomorrow. I had some interviews lined up and got selected in one. It's in a city, and I'm moving tomorrow. I can't stand these people. My parents think that getting married to a good guy with a stable job is the best thing that could have happened to my sister, and my relatives agreed. He groomed her. Why doesn't anyone else see that? I wanted to scream at everyone. When I told my sis that I was leaving, she cried. I reassured her and told her that I wasn't angry at her. I made it clear that she could contact me anytime, under any circumstances, and that I would be there for her. I bought her a phone, and I told her that I would talk to her regularly. I tried to not antagonize anyone because I want them to reach out to me if anything happens. It was very hard to do. I came very close to fighting several people. My sister was a star student. I always thought that she would go to a big college and become someone significant, but now she's going to be a housewife. That thought is destroying me. I wasn't harsh on her because I'm hoping that she wakes up soon, and I want to be there for her when that happens. I want to support her and see her full potential, and I'm wishing that it happens soon. Edit, I've told her not to have any children until she's sure. She has a contraceptive implant, and I told her not to get it removed for at least a couple of years. I told her to tell me if anyone ever pressured her to have it removed. I really hope that she follows my advice. And now in the comments, I had a teacher that did this, married 3 of his students over his career. Nothing was ever done as he waited after they graduated. That guy even cheated on them while he was grooming the next. When I graduated, he was grooming someone younger than his daughter. I want to know just how old the ex-wife was. 24? 25? I have a bad feeling that this girl is going to lose 5 very important years of her life being married to this guy, and then he'll move on to the next star student. If he leaves her after 5 years, that might actually be the best case scenario, besides her leaving him sooner. Especially if they don't have kids. I really hope she doesn't have kids. Ding ding ding, who knows? If the little sis stays properly youthful and immature in personality and looks, she might make it to the age of 30 before the divorce. I'm a 36-year-old teacher, and my god, these students are children in my eyes. The fact that the teacher could do this is disgusting, and that everyone just went along? That poor girl. She didn't have a phone? That's the first thing that caught me. Like OP said small town, but how much are you unaware of if you don't have a phone? Unless she still uses the internet regularly and just never got a phone because the town is so small? I don't know. Still seems strange in 2022. And OP replies, some parents don't trust their daughters. My uncle is this way. My cousin has a smartphone, but it doesn't have a SIM card. She's not allowed to have any social media profiles. Internet can only be used for her education. If she wants to talk over the phone, she has to use the landline or her mother's phone. I mean, no offense to your uncle, but this is what happens to those kids. They go from one overly controlling man to another. Yep, or the moment that they get an ounce of freedom, they go completely insane and wind up in very dangerous situations. It's a tale as old as time. I went to high school where the water polo coach was dating a teenager. He got her pregnant, and it became a huge scandal at the school. He was also my English teacher, and not a good one at that. But I knew that he was a creepy dude, as he creeped on all the girls in the class. He finally got fired. I believe he was about 30 or 32 at the time. About 10 years later, he dumped the cheerleader after impregnating her 2 more times, found another girl at 18, and was with her for 10 years too. It's been 3 decades since I graduated high school, and he just dumped girlfriend number 3 who was 18 when he met her, and he's on 18-year-old girlfriend number 4 that he met in class. It is super gross, and I can't believe he still teaches high school English. Hey man, it was cool of you to not blow up at the wedding. I would have ground my teeth down to nothing. But you being respectful and keeping an open line of communication with her is big, and I deeply respect you for that. At least she's 19 and has ample time to decide for herself if this marriage with him is right for her. All her friends will be going off into life, and for now, all she can do is watch from home. She can still change her mind and leave him. And maybe, just to lighten the mood here, if she does choose to leave, she gets half of his stuff. That might be a bump up for her if she wants to go back to school and be independent. Mad respect for being a good sibling through all of this. Our next post is titled, Family's Friend and I Started Dating, but our families are upset about it. We're so confused. So, my now girlfriend and I have known each other our entire lives. Our families have been friends for a long time now, so we were always close. My girlfriend and I had feelings for each other for a while, but never acted on it until a few months ago. We secretly dated until 2 weeks ago when we went to prom together. We thought everyone would think that it was the coolest thing ever, but they had the opposite reaction. They told us that we weren't allowed to date, and that was that. The only explanation that we got is that it's weird because we're basically family, which doesn't make sense because we are not related. We are just so confused about why they're acting like this. We're not going to stop because we're going away to college in a couple of months, but it's frustrating that they are ruining this for us. Anyone have any idea why they're doing this, or how we can get them to change their minds? And now in the comments, most likely something is amiss here. You need to dig into why these families don't want y'all to be together. And OP replies, has to be something missing, right? They're just being super dismissive about it and not giving us a clear answer as to why. I think you need to double check that you aren't actually related. DNA testing. Exactly. The only two reasons I can think of is they're related, somebody cheated and the families were mature enough to not let it break up the relationships, or they're worried that if they ever break up, it'll ruin the family's closeness and make things weird. I can't come up with another option. The breakup/closeness issue is a real possibility. I'd say you're right on the money. Best thing OP can do is keep the relationship civil and end on good terms if worse comes to worse. Easier said than done. It is going to be completely determined on the cause for the breakup and if the other party can handle it. It would likely be fine, but I bet the family doesn't want to risk it. 1. They might consider her family given their long friendship, but you are not actually related, so that's a non-starter. 2. They might be worried about what happens to their friendship with each other if you two were to break up. Is this going to end up like that episode of House where this couple ran away because the dude's dad beat him up for dating the girl and they thought that it was because he was a racist, but it turns out the dad had an affair with the neighbor woman and the resulting child is the dude's wife/half-sister? I have questions, and they probably won't be answered. Edit to add, life also isn't a TV show, and it is still very plausible and believable that they think it's weird purely for the reason that you two grew up together, and to them, it's like you were siblings. Which, if that's the case, and hopefully it is, they can suck it up and deal. And OP replies, I'm hoping that's the case. At least that would just be annoying rather than life-changing. You'd be taking your incestuous act pretty well then. And OP says, Lamau, not that. I'm talking about their edit. If it turns out that our families are just being annoying, it's not a bad outcome. When I started dating my family friend of 10 plus years, our families were also against it. They were worried about us breaking up and ruining the relationship between both families. Our siblings were a bit awkward too. They felt like they became the third and fourth wheel. We did our best to not act coupley around them and continued to hang out, the four of us, so that they soon realized nothing was going to change. I would sit down with your parents and ask them what their reasoning is and why they're against it. My boyfriend and I at the time agreed that if we ever broke up, we wouldn't be childish about it and would let the parents continue to be friends. We are married now. Good luck. And OP replies, Congrats. I'm hoping that that's our family's reasoning for it. Everyone here has me worried about us being related. Alright everyone, my girlfriend/sister/cousin and I appreciate all the comments. I am slightly bothered by the followers I've gotten, but I get it. Today was a long day, and tomorrow might be even longer if we can force some kind of answer out of our parents. Hoping for the best. And now on to the update. So there is good news and there is awful news. The good news is there is no incest here. We're not related. The awful news is that our parents are poly and basically a foursome. We were trying to get an answer out of our parents all day yesterday, but they kept giving the same BS excuses. We called my girlfriend's older sister to see if she knew why they didn't want us together. We knew that she would try to help us because she definitely wanted us to be together. She caught the four of them together one time a few years ago and was told to keep it a secret. She told her grandparents about it, and it caused a big fight that eventually got resolved. We confronted our parents about it and they confirmed. It didn't start until all four of their children were born, so we are definitely not related. We asked them what they expected us to do, and they said break up so they could continue their relationship. They thought we had more of a brother-sister relationship and were surprised that it was actually romantic. Not really proud of it, but we flipped out on them. I don't have anything against the poly lifestyle, but it's weird when people you're close to are into it. We told them it's unfair of them to have a relationship that will be hidden forever, while my girlfriend and I can't have a public one. They said that we were young and would probably break up one day, so it's better to end it now to keep peace in the family. We left and went to stay at her sister's apartment. Now what? Why does this have to be so complicated? We can't just break up and pretend like nothing happened to please our parents. It is also super hypocritical of them to use the basically family excuse at first while they are doing the same effing thing. We are so lost right now. What should we do? And now in the comments, Tell them their personal sexual relationships with each other have nothing to do with you. You are two adults and are allowed to be together. Exactly. Just because they want to fulfill their sexual needs doesn't mean you two can't be together. Strange as the family get-togethers would be, don't listen to them. You have every right to pursue a relationship with your girlfriend, and both of yours parents should want the best for you. Fight for this relationship because if they really cared about preserving their family, they wouldn't be acting this way. And OP says, we won't. It just sucks because we really thought this is something that everyone would be happy about. Now it's just weird. I am happy for you. Enjoy it. Your parents are just selfish and only care about themselves instead of their kids' happiness. Whether or not you make it isn't up for them to decide, so keep being with each other. And OP says, thanks, we will. Even more excited for college now because we are going far away from home. If they get to date, then you get to date. Spoiler alert, only the shittiest polyamorous people try to limit other people's relationships. Right? The irony of being in a polyamorous relationship, which is very much about challenging boundaries and norms, and then trying to dictate the relationships of others. I can't even pretend to understand the mental gymnastics that your parents are using to say that their poly relationship should have any bearing at all on your relationship with your girlfriend. But the good thing is that you and your girlfriend are both 18, you are not related, and both of your parents can just pound sand. Your relationship has nothing to do with their relationship. Have a sense of humor about this, and just continue on enjoying your relationship. They will get used to it after a while. And OP says, definitely glad that we're not related. Having a sense of humor definitely has gotten us through the last couple of days. When everyone here was saying that we were related, we were betting on how. Thought we figured it out too. Okay, the curiosity is killing me. How did you two handle the situation interpersonally while you didn't know the truth? And OP replies, so things have been weird since we went to prom. It's been awkward when everyone was around each other. We still kept acting like a couple when it was just the two of us. The past 2 days specifically have been awful for my girlfriend and I. Once people started suggesting we were related, we stopped any intimacy. Like I said in the comment above, we were just trying to laugh it off so we didn't lose our minds. Started joking around about who the affair baby was and who the partners were. Actually thought that we figured it out, and it was kind of an oh crap moment. My uncle died a year after we were born, and so we came up with the possibility that she was his child and was adopted by her parents after he passed. I don't know if this is the kind of answer you wanted, so if you want to know anything else, you can ask. The couple that pinboards their conspiracy theories with red string together stays together. Our next post is titled, I, 18 male, hate having sex with my girlfriend, 18 female, even though I am attracted to her. So we have been dating for 2 years and we've started to have sex recently. I love my girlfriend, I am attracted to her, but I don't know what the problem is. I feel good having sex with her, but it feels terrible afterwards. I feel like the only reason we have sex is because I want to make her happy and she likes having sex. We have tried different things, and most of them make me feel like crap, and the only thing that makes me feel great afterwards is giving her oral. It makes me feel great. I can't actually describe the feeling, really, but it feels like I'm on a drug of some kind, and I don't think it's about making her happy. The act makes me feel really happy, and it lifts my mood up for the whole damn day. I don't know. I haven't talked to my girl about this because I feel like this is a me problem, and she has been perfect. I feel really terrible when I have sex. While having sex, the pleasure kind of overwhelms it, but after we finish, it is downright awful. I feel horrible. I don't know why I feel this way at all. And now in the comments, I dated a person like this, where going down on me and using their hands on me was the only sexual activity that they liked. Getting blowjobs or being touched made them very uncomfortable, and so we mostly stopped doing that. We never had penetrative sex because they were very uncomfortable with the idea. It turned out later that they were dealing with gender dysphoria, and where they had been born as and presented as a man, they actually realized they were a woman and began transitioning. We broke up before that realization. They cheated on me, but in hindsight, it made a lot of our sex things make sense. Someone else asks, is it shame? And OP says, it isn't. I thought so at first, but I don't feel ashamed about having sex, but like, something is wrong with me and not the act itself. My parents are pretty open about sex education, and I don't know, I'm not ashamed of having sex, but yeah. Maybe it's a brain chemical thing? I've heard of people who cry after sex, but I'm so glad to hear that it's not shame. How do you feel about your body generally? And OP says, fine, I guess. I'm fit and people say I'm attractive. What more can a guy want? Would you have any neurodivergencies? Depression? Anxiety? Anything? Maybe some chemical imbalances in your brain. Too much dopamine at once makes your brain produce less afterwards to bring it back to a balance, but maybe your brain compensates too much. Or any past traumas, even from a very, very long time ago. Or a religious upbringing that may be subconsciously drilled into the back of your head that sex equals bad. You should maybe talk to a therapist of some sort, even just bring it up to a counselor at school or a family doctor that can maybe direct you to a proper mental health expert. If you can't afford it, I know that there are a lot of free mental health services nowadays. All I know for certain is talk to your girlfriend. Sure, she might be a little disappointed, but it's not like you will be depriving her sexually. You are very motivated to give her oral. Maybe she can even find ways to help you through discussion. And now, onto the update. So someone commented that a person they dated had the same holdups as I did, and then they came out as a trans woman. I used to dress up in my sister's clothes when I was young, but I stopped because my parents forced me to wear boys' clothes. I've been thinking about it, and the more I read, the more I realize it may be true. I may be a trans girl. I don't know, it's scary. I talked to my girlfriend about it, and she let me experiment with clothes. It felt great. Incredible even. We then had really great sex, which made me feel good, but then she started to avoid me. She told me that it was a lot to handle, and she couldn't handle it. She could see herself doing this in the bedroom as a sexy thing, but outside of it, she was uncertain. I understand that. It is a lot to take in, and we are on a break right now. I don't intend to get back with her. I love her, but I want to be single for a while as I figure this out. I talked to my parents, and I'm planning to go to therapy to figure it out. And now in the comments, she sounds like a nice friend. Hopefully it's not awkward, and you guys can share this beautiful memory of how she was a part of you discovering yourself. And OP says, she is really nice. We are both sad right now. It was the first real relationship we both ever had. It meant a lot to us, but honestly, this is a really nice time to split up. We have really great memories and we love each other. We have not hurt one another, but we can see that there is a lot of crap that is going to change in the next year, and that is without including my gender into it. Quit while you're ahead, right? Not necessarily the outcome expected, but probably the outcome you needed. Best of luck to you. I would have never guessed this is what was going on with OP. This is the magic of Reddit. All sorts of people from all different backgrounds read OP's story and gave OP insights that may improve their life. I was thinking abuse is in his, or her by now, childhood. Something that makes the act feel dirty and shameful to him/her. As a Catholic, I thought they might have been raised Catholic. Just stupid guilt over everything. Say OP is trans and a woman. Just because OP's girlfriend is supportive doesn't mean she's a lesbian. She may be interested in helping OP transition, but not interested in being in a relationship with a woman. This was my parents' experience. My step-parent came out as trans, but still expresses as a man and goes by he, him, because my mum is not a lesbian, and I think for him it was more important that he had my mum as a spouse than living life as a woman. My mum has been incredibly supportive, and they're happy, I think. But I used to be uncomfortable with my mum thinking she was the selfish one. But she never made the choice for him. He made it, and still chooses to identify as a man, despite identifying as trans. The whole thing makes me sad, to be honest. Honestly, neither of them are selfish, and my heart breaks for the both of them. Alright, and that's where I'm going to leave today's episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it down below, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.